My name's UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday. I shall do my usual little bit of waffling. It's been a while, hasn't it? I should do my waffling. I'd forgotten what I needed to say. Whilst everybody pulls up a chair and gets comfortable, I can see we've got the lovely Karen in the room, and it is cloudy in Shoreham. Yeah, it's a little bit overcast here in Bridge today. A little bit fresh, but yesterday it was. Was it yesterday? I can't remember. I think yesterday it was quite nice in the afternoon, or was it raining? Good morning, Mo. Yes, the lovely Sue will be with us very shortly. Clarity Sue will be in the room. So I hope everybody's well. Good morning, Helen. Lovely Ken's in the room. Happy Groovi Tuesday, everyone. Absolutely. It's good to be back in the room. So it feels like a long time, wasn't it? Because obviously last week I wasn't with you because I was heading up to TV for a brand new one-day special that went down very, very well. Thank you very much for if you took us up on that offer. That was very kind of you. Who else have we got in the room? Morning from Mary Louise Brooks in Newark. Karen. Sunny and cloudy in Ripon with Mo. Nahid, good morning. The GT gang. I wondered what that meant then. Message from Sue. The sound is all good. Thank you, Sue. I just sort of thought, what's that? Who's texting me this time of the morning? So I know I'm a little bit early to the party. So cold in Crawley. Where else have we got? So we've got Nottingham, bright and dry in Nottingham so far. Jenny, good evening from Melbourne. See, international, worldwide. I love it. What else have we got? A grey, cold Norway. Wow. Certainly getting through our travels today, aren't we? So, yeah, it's lovely to have your company. So, yeah, so there was no Groovi Tuesday last week because I was heading up to TV for a one-day special. And then I'm just going to move the mouse because it's hovering over the end session. There we go. Jayne from Cambridgeshire. There we go. So yeah, so this is lovely having sort of like a weather report. I'd say from the UK, but it's worldwide, isn't it? We've got Norway, we've got Melbourne. We normally have some of our friends from Germany. Sunny with Lillian. Sunny in Dunstable. So yeah, well, it's a real mixed bag today, isn't it? But I've got my coffee, so I'm fine. I hope you've all been behaving. I've got some bits and pieces to show you today during the course of the hour because, yes, I'm back on TV again. Probably sick and tired of me by now. So, but I'm on Thursday on Create and Craft at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. There we go. We've got the lovely Jayne in the morning. We've got the lovely Jayne in the room. Good morning, Jayne. Glad to see that Colin is home. Hope you're looking after. I'm sure you're looking after him. I bet he's eager to get back to his old bonsai trees, isn't he? So yeah, lovely to have him home again. So Lorraine's in Spain. Yeah, lovely job. We've got Humberta. It's 6 a.m. and still dark with Humberta in the States. Oh, I love this. This is great. Sort of seeing where everybody is. I know I'm sort of, it's dead on 10 o'clock now. So Colin's listening to. Hi, Colin. Glad to see that you're back home. Saw the pictures on Instagram. So looking good. Looking good. So yeah. So we're going to start a new project this week. I thought we'd had a little bit of a break. We can finish off using Tina's lovely layering plate mate. Sue, I can't believe you asked where Humberta is. How many times a week do you speak to Humberta on the phone? Oh, Sue's in Sueland at the moment. Bless her. So yeah, so we finished off with Tina's plates, and I thought we'd start with a plate. I did sort of see that she can't see her. We'd start with a new project, and I thought this week what we would do, we'd have a look at the lovely Jayne Nestorenko Groovi Floral Sampler plate. So this is the plate. I launched it a couple of weeks ago on the Pergamano show on Creator, and it proved really, really popular. And these lovely little samples or samplers of, I mean, Jazz really worked her magic with Jayne's artwork, making them sort of like rinky-dink little sizes. And I thought this is a perfect opportunity because they'd work lovely with some of the plates that I've got coming up on TV on Thursday. I think I might actually get these added to the show because I think these are a perfect accompaniment to what I've got coming up on Thursday. And I'll explain and you'll see why in a little bit. So yeah, so I thought this is great because we can practice or hone, or sort of maybe it's the first time we're doing it, some colouring. We can do some white work. Now that we've got the shader tool, the 1.2 shader tool back in stock, this will make a big difference to your white work. And especially on like, see, because you've got sort of like your main icon. So you've got the larger dahlia, and then you've got your smaller ones. Then you've got a larger rose and your smaller roses. You've got your larger fuchsia and your smaller fuchsia. Then you've got your agapanthus. Then we go into the holly and the ivy, and then finally we go into the poinsettia. But you know what, Jazz, where she's worked her magic really is these little frames where she's taken them from Jayne's plates and rinky-dinked them down. And these, if I had a plate that just had those on, happy days. Really is, because I've got my lovely sentiments on there. Happy birthday, I love you, best wishes, thinking of you, merry and bright, peace on earth. Instant cards, no skill required at all. So I thought we could have a look at this over the coming weeks and really have a go at practicing different techniques. And because they're small, it's not so overwhelming, is it? So let me show you some artwork from the design team. Now, the lovely Josie and Glynis very kindly prepared 2 demos for me to showcase on TV, and it really does highlight the beauty of these designs. So this was a piece created by Josie. See, I love that you can go sort of big or you can go small. And I mean, look at that. That, even without the frame, is a beautiful piece of artwork. It really is. You could do a long one. You could do a bookmark. You could just do 3 squares coming down. You could just have 3 in a corner. Choices. And I've got some tips to share with you regarding the boxes. So that was a piece created by Josie. Then this was the one that Glynis created. And this, again, they're using Jayne's frame or the nested square extension frame. You've got the original rose from Jayne, and then the little sort of like, I suppose it's like a little gift tag, isn't it? I wanted to sort of move that, but it's been stuck down. So we've got that piece of artwork there. The rose is my all-time favourite. Then we've got some lovely artwork from Francis using the fuchsias. Using the fuchsias. But let me bring this picot cutting in and show you. Look at that. That sure is some steady hand, isn't it? That's just mind-blowing. That's crazy, isn't it? So then we have this piece from Glynis. So this is using one of Linda Williams' easy layout plates. And then Glynis has just filled it in with lovely areas. Got the roses in there, the agapanthus, and it's combining both the little sampler plate and also the original plates as well. Okay, then I love this one. I'm terrible. I say I love this one. This I think is this is me. This is sort of like me and Jayne. This is sort of pattern building. So this one is from Josie. So let me bring it in on this camera here. Where we're going. So you've got that lovely centerpiece, and then what Josie's done is that she's taken the original one and built a frame around it. I absolutely, for me, the pattern building around the four sides, stunning. More pattern building, this time from Francis, taking the little roses. So where we go, so we've got the little roses here. We've got that foliage on there. This is clever, taking those swirls. And then we've got with love on your birthday on there. Magical. Bring this one in. Should have done it. Look at this. And that lovely lattice in the background. Isn't that delicate? And I'm guessing that gold has been done with a very steady hand. And I'm guessing it has been done, Francis doesn't say, the acrylic paint that we stock, the Pebeo acrylic paint. That's the dib dib dab dab dot dot technique. Look at that. Then we can go nice and petite. This is a lovely piece from Glynis. Look at that, those tools around the outside, those multi-needle tools. I'm guessing, I wonder whether it's the scallop tools. Oh, it's a semicircle perforating tool around the outside. Round the outside, round the outside. And Linda's nested square doily frame for the middle. See, that's nice, isn't it? Then this is great. Another one from Glynis. Where are we going? Let's do it back on the overhead. From Glynis. See, I love having these four squares and to put different bits in it. You could have happy birthday, I love you. You could put best wishes, thinking of you. You could just have sentiments in there. You don't have to have any particular florals in there. And then the final piece is from Karen Jackson, and this is white work at its best. So I thought we could definitely look. So if you compare these two here, it's the same flower. One's just been done with white work and one's been done with colour. And I thought that's what we could play with over the coming months. We could, the coming weeks, because what we can do, see, look, a different colour dahlia on this one. So we can really play with colour shading techniques as well. And it really is achievable. Okay. And then there was a lovely, when I launched the doodle dies, the nested circle doodle dies last week, this was a piece that Julie Campbell had created using Jayne's rose. And I just thought these dies just frame them beautifully. Is there a bumblebee on the plate? Is there? Yeah, there is. I didn't notice that before. A little bumblebee. See, sometimes you don't see the detail of the plate. Absolutely crazy. And then finally, this shows what we can sort of like achieve, so to speak. And this was created by Carol Baker. And Carol created a lovely box using Barb's Bijou Floral Alphabet, JN for Jayne Nestorenko, all done in designer parchment. using that lovely lattice plate around the outside. Okay, and then let me just take this out. So you imagine what Carol's done here. All of these are individual cards, and I'm going to zoom in now. Let me just do my groovy yoga and stretch up, and I want to come in. So we're going to come in this way. I zoomed right out so we can see the beauty of the whole A4 plate. Okay, let me take that away from underneath. Okay. So we've got the lattice on the front, we've got the circle, then we've got those little borders that Jazz worked her magic on. And then as we open it up, each of these potentially are individual little cards, little notelets. And exquisitely, oh, I can't speak this morning, framed with our nested square doodle dies and panels. So I've got the dahlias, butterflies, using a combination of coloured parchment, sort of some traditional style, the lovely white work. And these have all been attached by being stitched on. We've got the fuchsias, a little bit of gel pen on that one. You can see that glimmer on there, on the butterfly. There's that lovely little bee. Fuchsias again. Best wishes, the agapanthus, and then it opens up in the reverse. You could make something like this easily. You really could. You really could. Because all you've got to do is concentrate on little pieces of artwork, and each of these are just one square piece. You could have you could do one just of the Christmas designs. There we've got the gold gel pens in place there. Lovely, isn't it? Giving that a little bit of a shimmer and shine. Merry Christmas. Definitely a steady hand there. And then we're back to the beginning again. Okay. Absolutely. How was the book made and put together? Okay, now I'm guessing we come and look on the overhead. Right, okay, looking at this, okay, I can show you how this is done. I can show you in a bigger format. So let me just stand up and stretch back out. Okay, all right, let me zoom back out like so. Okay, so I'll show you. It's a very good question to ask because I'm just seeing if what I've got here that I can showcase it with. Right, hang on a mo. Right, let's have a look. Right, okay, I've got some card blanks here. Okay, so I'm going to show you on some 5x5 card blanks, and this is, what size are these? So these are 3.5 by 3.5. These are 3-inch squares. Okay. Now, I'm guessing what Carol would have done. Okay, how big is the book from Sue? So the book, I didn't see that, is they are 3-inch squares. Okay. 3, yeah, little 3 by 3. Because there is the 3.5 by 3.5 next to it. Okay. So these are little 3 by 3. Now I'm guessing, so if these are 3 by 3, then what Carol possibly would have done is taken a 6 by 6 card blank. So imagine this is, a 6 by 6 card blank. These are our lovely craft card blanks. Okay, so if this was a 6x6, what you would do, you would chop it in half, so you've got 3x6, and then chop off 3 inches. Okay, so then what you would get, this is it magnified. These are now 2 3x3, two 3x3 card pieces. They're not, but just imagine they are. Okay, and then what you do is you take one like that, then you take your next one, take that one like that. So what you're doing is creating your zigzag. So, and you're going to stick both of those together like that. Okay. So does that make sense? And then all you do is you just keep going, however big you want it to be. That's the way I would have done it. Carol's normally in the room. Maybe she's working today. Yeah, Jayne just said. So if you wanted to do exactly the same size as Carol, then go for your 6x6 card blanks. Okay, and then where your score line is here, where it's folded, cut it in half, so you've got 3, and then just chop off the other 3 inches. Saying that though, you could, so let me just show you something. Hang on, let's pop that over there. Where's my, have I got my paper trimmer in here? Yes, I have got a paper trimmer in here. Hang on. So, for example, I mean, you could, so this is a 5.5 by 5.5. No, this is a 5 by 5. So if I go 2.5, where's my 2.5? There it is. Can't see my sizes. Guillotine's not very good. Ooh, look at the state of that. Didn't do that very well, did I? Note to self, use a proper guillotine. See, and what you could do it that way as well. So you could go in the center, or you could put 2 pieces on. There we go. So, perfect. It's a lovely little piece of artwork from Carol. So that's how you can recreate that. And it is literally just a case of zigzagging and sticking. Okay. Right, so let me pop this to one side. See, it's great having the questions, especially if I sort of know the answer. So that was lucky. But it really is. And what you have to do, don't feel overwhelmed if you want to create something like that. Just take each square as a project in its own right. So, and then you could do 1 a day, you could do 2 a day. So there we go. That's the other option. Score it in the middle of the front. Oh, there we go. Why didn't I think? Okay, right. Let me show you that then. Let me get a. I've got a 6x6 down here. 6x6. That makes more perfect sense, doesn't it? Duh. Right. So there's me just thinking. Right. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do that. So what you can do is, right, let me try cutting this. No, I'm going to score first. Okay, so I've got my old hoogie board. So it's 6 inches in the middle. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take my ball tool, and I'm just going to go at 3, 6, 9, like so. Turn it over. I always score on both sides. Okay, so now let's pop that down there. So now I've got my 6x6 folded in half. Then you fold it back on itself. Oh, that's so obvious, isn't it? So now I've got my zigzag like so. But now what I want to do is I shall attempt to chop it in half with my blunt trimmer. Right, okay, so I now want 3. This makes perfect sense. That's better. Well, it's not really. Still gunged up at the end. I shall retire that one. So then that goes like that. That goes like that. Hang on. That goes like that. Much better. Do. I had the principle there. I had the principle. So hopefully that makes sense. Are you still with me, or have you lost the picture? Jane says, what's happened to the picture? Anybody there? I'm sure you are. Let's just pop that over there. We got there in the end. We did indeed. Are we all good with the picture? Is it working? Yep. Maybe it's Jayne's technology. Yep, Jayne's on Facebook as well. Good. Glad to hear you can all see what I'm doing. And that wasn't. Right. Okay. All okay from here. Thanks, Sue. Right. So that's how you can recreate the piece of artwork that Carol created if you wanted to. And as I say, just work on one piece at a time. And then all of a sudden you'll have a, I mean, wouldn't that be a lovely keepsake like for a wedding? Because you could put little photos behind in the sections as well. So, okay. So let's have a look at the plate. Okay. And what we're going to do first is, I don't know if you can see on the, well, you can see on the, if you can see me, you can see it. So, okay, Jayne's back with us. Super duper. So in order to get as much onto the plate as possible, you'll notice that the gap between the boxes as they go is wider than the boxes as they come down. So you've got little narrow gaps here, but you've got a wider gap in between. So if we took our parchment, let's just turn this over, and we traced out just the squares like so, that is what we'd get. Okay, or we go that way, or we go that way, which is fine. I mean, it's lovely to have that sort of spacing. However, if you wanted to get equal spacing in between them, whether you want to go for the larger spacing or whether, let's bring this in, you want to go for the smaller spacing, then what we're going to do, I'm going to start off by showing you how you can do that. It's easy, it really is, especially with the Groovi system. So we can decide whether we want a narrow space, a wider space, or if we just want to go with exactly how it comes on the plate. It's entirely up to you. So what we're going to need to start off with is we're going to need the plate. We are going to need a Groovi guard. We are going to need some Groovi tabs, our A5 parchment, our number 1 and number 2 tool, our tumble dry sheet. So that's all we're going to need to get started. Okay, and I can't believe it's 25 past already. Goodness me, doesn't this time fly? It really does. Might be a better construction if each layer of card was double. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it depends how, I mean, you're going to build it up with the different layers of the card and paper if you incorporate the lovely doodle dies like Carol's done. So yeah, it will soon build up the strength within it. Okay, so this is what we need to get started. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create the correct space, or not the correct, the different types of spacing. Okay. So to start off with, I'm going to take my A5 parchment and I'm going to give it a wipe with the tumble dry sheet, and I'm wiping it on my black mat. Okay. Then I'm just going to go centrally and look at these 4 squares right in the middle because it's just easier for me to work on. The plate is the same width as the parchment. Okay. And all I'm going to do is just slide my parchment until it's sort of in the center-ish. Okay. So that's going to go on there. And just to start off with, we're going to use our Groovi tabs to hold it in place. Now I want to go for the wider spacing within my piece of artwork I'm going to work on. So I'm going to trace out these 2 boxes here. I'm going to use my Groovi guard to lean on, and I'm just going to go with the number 1 tool, and I'm just going to do the downward lines first. Then I'm going to turn my plate, and I'm going to do the other sides to complete my boxes. Okay, so now I've got my boxes. Now you could do 1, you could do 4, you could fill this whole piece of parchment with boxes, and that could be your piece of artwork. Excuse me. You could cut down the parchment in half and do A6, and you would still get 2 wide. You would just about get 6 panels on a A6 piece of parchment. Okay. So what we're going to do now to get that equal spacing, we're going to lift it up, and then we're going to turn it anti-clockwise or clockwise, entirely up to. Now I'm going to go anti-clockwise. I'm going to go anti-clockwise. Then I'm going to slot this square back in to that one. Ignore the one at the bottom. That has slotted in. So now I'm going to trace out this one. Okay, so now I've got 3. And then I'm going to go anti-clockwise again, lock this one. So you're always locking in 1, ignoring the rest. And then trace out the last one. So now I have my equal spacing between each of the squares. Okay, easy peasy. So it's just giving you those options when it comes to working with the squares. If you wanted to do a quartet of squares, it's choices, isn't it? For me, it's sort of, I don't know, my eyes, it just looks different. I like to have the equal spacing. So this is where you have that versatility of the Groovi plate to be able to do that. Okay. So let's stick with this one. Okay. No, not this one. The one that I've just traced out. And what we're going to do is, this is going to be sort of like my practice, my sampler piece. Okay. And let's have a look. What should we go? I'm going to go for the Dahlia or the Dahlia, however you choose to pronounce it. Okay, so that slots back into place like so. And for the first one, what I'm going to do is trace out with the number 1 tool. So I get that lovely crisp outline of the design. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit now. Okay, now that we're focusing just on one area. Okay, I've got my Groovi guard. Oh, look, that's a bit magical, isn't it? Virtually the same size. Dahlia, darling, or darling Dahlia. Okay. So, whilst I'm tracing this out, I need my glasses. Oh, helicopter. They're looking for you again, Sue. Helicopter flying overhead. They're looking for you or they're looking for me. Okay. Right. So I'm going to go with the number 1 tool and we're just going to trace out the Dahlia exactly how it comes. Okay. And whilst we're doing that, so what's coming up this week? So Barb's having a week off this week. So the shack will return on Monday. So there's no shack on Thursday evening. On Thursday, I'm back up at Create and Craft. And we're going to get groovy at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And we're going to revisit the It's a Wrap collection from Linda Williams. Last month I brought you part 1, which created those beautiful cards. Absolutely beautiful. Part 2 is called Pretty Pockets, Ribbon Wraps and Envelopes. And I've got some pieces of artwork to showcase today. Many of our friends that have been with us for a while will recognize, but did you know they haven't been on TV since 2021. That's just madness. We're in 2024. I had to think about that then. I can't remember what year we was in. So yeah, many of our friends at home that are new to the Groovi won't have seen them, and they're absolutely stunning. So we're going to showcase those on TV on Thursday at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Then I'm sure Barb will do the odd blog here and there, even though she's having a bit of a break. We have the Clarity Matters blog on Saturday with the Saturday share that Grace will be doing. Grace is over in the UK at the moment. And then on Sunday, there'll be a Groovi step-by-step tutorial, as usual, from one of the fantastic design team. And then it'll be back in the shack with Barb on Monday. Okay, so I've traced out the first one. So you can see there, we've got that lovely crisp white line. Okay, now we're going to move along, ding ding, reposition that, come on, back into the square, like so. And this time I'm going to go with the number 2 tool. Okay, I'm going to go number 2, number 3, and number 4, just to show, because what we can do is practice various different things on them. So this is going to be sort of like our sampler of different techniques. Okay, so number 2, larger ball on the end, which means it doesn't go into the groove as much. Have to go a little bit more slowly. Okay, so that's what we've got coming up this week and into next week. Then what else we got? Oh yeah, we've got our open day tickets still available. They are, if you're looking for 2 fantastic fun-filled days where you can meet lots of the design team, there's make and takes, there's raffles, there's giveaways, there's refreshments, there's easy parking. We've got our open days on the 7th and 8th of June in Ditton, which is near Maidstone in Kent, just off of the M20, I think it is. So tickets are available on the website, or you can give Sue a call. So I think it's £8 a day. £8. Madness. So you've got Linda Williams, Josie Davison, Jayne Telford, Sam Crow, Dee Paramore. Who else have we got? I think we've got Sonia and Tina. There'll be Barb, there'll be me, there'll be some of the staff from the office. Yeah, 2 fantastic days. Always look forward to those. So I think Sue's going to pop a link up if she hasn't already. I'm sure she has. Yeah, there we go. Sue's popped a link up. So if you're interested in the open days, many of our friends come for 2 days. But it's entirely up to you. Make a weekend of it. Hotels nearby. Oh, and Sue. Yeah, Sue might be there. Okay, so now we've gone for the number 2 tool. You can definitely see the difference, can't you? Okay. So then we're going to go over here, relocate that square again. Now this time, we're going to go for the number 3 tool. Okay. So bigger ball. So the sizes of the number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the number 1 is a 0.8. The number 2 is a 1.3. The number 3 is a 2 mil, and the number 4 is a 2.8. So you can see that they gradually get bigger and bigger as we go along. Now, if you prefer the Pergamano tools, we've finally got the 1.5 ball tool back in stock. So that sits in between the 1.3 and the 2. There's a 0.5 that sits down there. There's a 1 that sits in between. Then there is a 3.5, a 4, and a 6. So those are the ones that are coming back in stock very, very soon. So I'm going to go with the number 3 tool. See, it sounds weird, I was brought up on the wooden tools. So for me, this is what I find more easy when I'm sort of tracing out. But it's just what works for you, doesn't it? Okay, so number 3, definitely need to go slowly because you will jump out. But you know what? You jump out, nothing's going to happen. So it doesn't really matter, does it? So yeah, so we've got our open days. Breathe, stop waffling. Let me have a slurp of coffee. That'll slow me down for a minute. Sue was brought up with the wooden tops. That's completely different, Sue. Okay, so number 3 tool. Take it nice and slowly. Then in August, we have our summer retreats. Same location, Ditton Community Centre near Maidstone in Kent again. Blocks of 2 days. So we have the 13th and the 14th. And then we have the 15th and the 16th. So it's 2 days of workshops led by Barbara, and we tend to we do all different types of things. Sometimes we do the jelly plate, We do Groovi, we do stamping, sometimes we get stencils out, sometimes die cutting. It's a real mixed bag of different projects and techniques over the 2 days. So tickets are available for that as well, if you want to treat yourself as well. Then, so that's the summer. So that's sort of like all your everyday sort of crafting. I wouldn't say every day. It's a real mixed bag. Let's put it that way. So maybe you'll discover new types of craft. I remember when Sue did it last year. She was absolutely covered in ink. So yeah, so that's in August, and then if you maybe it's just parchment craft you're into, then we have our annual parchment retreat at the Spa Hotel in Royal Tunbridge Wells in Kent, and that will be headed up by Barbara and the lovely Linda Williams. So that's a 2-day event on the 14th and 15th of October. Okay, I'm just sort of lifting up to see if I've got everything covered, which I have. I think I have a bit missed there. So that's a great thing. Just lift it up a little bit and see if you've missed anywhere before you unstick it. So yeah, so there's lots going on throughout the year at Clarity Towers. Now for the final one, we're going to go with the number 4 tool. Okay. So Groovi tabs to hold it in place, like so. Groovi guard over. Humberto says we're still waiting for Clarity to do a retreat in the US. Grace is in New York, so that should make it easier. Well, it sort of makes it easier, Humberto. I suppose it's the logistics of it, isn't it? Getting the stuff shipped out there for the workshop. At least, see, it's quite interesting when we do our retreats or our open days here in Kent, in the UK. We make lists, loads and loads of lists of what we need, what's everything else, etc., etc. And then we go and we set up and we think, oh, goodness me, we've forgotten this, we've forgotten that. Oh, should have had this on the list. And it's sort of like a 45-minute trip back to the office to pick it up. So in that way, not that we try and take everything that we can, but there's often one thing, like some silly little thing. Oh, we forgot an eraser pencil or something. Oh, that's all right. We can just go back to the office, pick those up, not a problem. So, but when we start traveling further afield, we used to do them up in north of England, in Yorkshire, and it was like loading up the lorry, getting it all up there, setting it all up, and then, oh no, I've forgotten that. Well, can't go back and get it, so you have to sort of adapt, and it works, but it'd be lovely. I mean, I haven't been over to the States for a while now. All I would say is just watch this space. Never say never. That's all I'm saying. So now I'm using the number 4 tool. And I'm sure it would go down really, really well in the States. But the States is a big place as well, isn't it? See, Lorraine wants us to go to Scotland. Whereabouts in Yorkshire was it? It was in Leyburn, Mo. We used to have open days, and we used to do some retreats. We did the parchment retreat. We used to do the open days on the Friday and Saturday, and then we did a parchment retreat on the Sunday. It was at a big auction house. I can't think what it was called. Quite famous. Sue's packed her bags ready to go off to the States already. I forgot where I was going now with the story. Oh, I can't remember now. It will come back to me. Let's just have a look. Right. So with the number 4 tool, it depends on your eyesight. You may want to do the number 4 tool. You may not want to do the number 4 tool. If you have a light panel, then the light panel will definitely help. But it's when we trace it out, you'll see it's very, very faint. Okay. So, and there's a reason for that, which we will come to next week, because we're definitely not going to get to it this week. This is I suppose this is our prep, our staging for next week. Okay. So, yeah, so what we're going to do, this is our prep ready for next week. So you've got plenty of time. Okay, take it easy, Jane. Love to both of you. Shout if you need anything. Okay, so easy does it, like so. Yeah, so this is going to be, so if you're not doing this at the same time, then you've got a week. Tenants in Leyburn. Thank you, Josie. Tenants Auction House in Leyburn. Just near Catterick, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that was right. It's been a while now, pre-lockdown. So yeah, so you have a week to get to this stage. For us to continue next week. If you want to do it at the same time, don't have to. Okay, as we go into the smaller areas, we definitely have to go more slowly. There we go. We're just gonna, so when you get to these sort of detailed areas, what you can do is just gently rub the tool over the parchment. Don't apply too much pressure, but it will definitely pick up the area. I mean, if you want to, you could leave that area empty and we could just fill that in with white work. What did Karen do on her piece? Yeah, very, very subtle in the middle, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a look. I think I've got it all. Excuse me. That helicopter's coming back. Something's going on outside. Right, okay. Whee! Groovi tabs. Oh, come on. There we go. Right. Let's pop that over there. I'm going to take a piece of black card. Okay. And I'll just bring it up. It's easier to bring it up to the camera. Okay. So we have our number 1, number 2, number 3, and I've missed a leaf there, a petal. But I can go back in and do that. And number 4. So this is what we're going to need for next week. Okay. And we're going to try some different techniques. And I reckon we're definitely going to be, this is going to be our white work sampler. Okay. And we'll use a combination of the ball tools. But for me, that makes a big difference when it comes to white work is the shader tool. Okay. So the one that we've currently got in stock is the 1.2. What is the plate? The plate we are using is the Jayne Nestorenko A4 Floral Sampler. I'm sure Sue can pop a link up on that one. Now, what I wanted to do is share with you some lovely artwork for the upcoming TV show on Thursday at 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So let me bring the plates over to show you first. So let me just zoom out. Don't worry, it's not out of focus. Let me just open that and we're just going to zoom out. So last month we had a look at the first one. So this was the I've got it in back to front, and they come with inspiration sheets as well. This is the It's a Wrap Diagonal Rose Lace Trifold. And this one is It's a Wrap Hexagonal Flourish Lace Gatefold. And then on Thursday, we're going to be having a look at Pretty Pocket. This is so useful. And this. Just that and that and that and that. Well, look, instant frames, corners, borders, centers. And you know what? These will fit perfectly as little pieces in the middle. And I'll explain what I mean by that. You've got 4 different designs around the outside. The other week, Barb was showing you those lovely frills and using the shader tool. There we go. Really practice on that one. Then you've got your ribbon wraps, or they're like cigar bands. Okay, so that's it. So we've got that one. And then finally, we've got the envelope one. Now, the envelope template or plate has been designed for the card to sit inside. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different flaps. Okay. Madness. We could have done 5 different plates with the 5 different flaps. But no, no, no. We like to put as much on there as we can. So let me just show you some amazing artwork. Okay. So where am I going with this one? So this is Francis. Let me zoom in on this one now. Stretch and zoom in. Okay. So this is using some of our lovely, I mean, look at the white work on those roses. So the idea, it's an envelope. And have we got anything in? Yeah, look. Wow. Beautiful card. Perfect for wedding invites, special birthdays, anniversaries, gift vouchers. So you got that one from Francis. Then this one's from Linda herself. And these are the lovely wraps that go around, and they've been designed so that you got the little slats on the back, so that they interlock, and when they lock, they create a completed image as well. So anything in this one? Yes, look at this one. Anna and Simon, March 2021, St Mary's Church in Neath. You open it up, and then you have your invite in there. So that's that one from Linda. Then we've got another one from Francis. Francis's Pico Cut, all of that one. We've got the lovely ribbon wrap as well to complement it. Then we've got another one from Linda. This is lovely. You've got different tones of parchment, and you can see how they all overlay. And then that lovely diagonal card with love from me to you. Then another piece from Linda. Let me do it from the back to open it up so you can see. They're so beautiful. Look at that. And the card to match. These are real keepsakes, aren't they? So they're the envelopes, okay, working alongside the actual cards themselves from last month. Then we have the pretty pockets. So this is using the ribbon wraps to decorate the piece of card. But watch. Ready? Woo! Look! It's a Pergamano parchment poppet. Isn't that gorgeous? Goes like that, that goes like that. I always feel my chunky fingers are gonna gently does it. There we go. It's like a little secret box, isn't it? So we've got that one from Linda. I've got another one from Linda. I'm not going to open that one because I can't tie ribbons. Another one from Linda, Christmas, because there's Christmas designs on there as well. Then we've got one from Francis. What's hiding in this one? Look. Oh, isn't that sweet? This could be one of the lovely Jayne Nestorenko flowers in the middle. They work so beautifully together. Now, this is using that pocket, but opened up with a separate panel. Let me bring it in on this one. You can see, you know, that lovely frill that Barb was showing you the other week on Groovi Tuesday? That frill around the outside using the shading tool, where you go on the front, on the back. But you can see it's using the same pattern all the way around the outside. Then we've got one from Linda. So just using the shape of it to create like a flower effect. Love that. And then there's the ribbon wrapped around. Does it wrap inside? Of course it does, look. Attached on the inside. Really nice finishing piece, isn't it? So that's what I'll be getting up to on Thursday. And I've got some demos that Linda prepared when we launch them, which I'm going to work my way through. I'm going to refresh my mind not how they work. It's easy because you've got the instructions and the inspiration with them. Yeah, I'm going to do stuff on clear parchment to show the construction, how to assemble, how you can use designer parchment and designer paper to make envelopes as well. Yeah, paper. Even though it's only 8x8, you can still make some lovely envelopes using smaller pieces of paper, so it doesn't have to be A4 in size. So thank you as always for joining me. Really enjoyed everybody's company. Thank you to Sue and the fantastic design team as always. I mean, the design team, that says it all. So don't forget, Thursday, 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock on Create and Craft. No shack this week because Barb's on holiday, but check out Barb's blog over the course of the week and the Clarity Matters blog on Saturday and Sunday. And then Barb will be back. I'm going to sneeze. There, it's gone. Look at the light. Barb will be back in the shack on Monday and taking you through the ABC. And I believe you will be starting the letter E. E for... I wonder what Barb will come up with, but I'm sure it'll be something fantastic and easy as well. E for easy. There we go. How do you draw easy? Well, tune in on Monday at the shack at 10 o'clock and you'll find out how E for easy is easy. So enjoy the rest of your week. Stay in and craft. Don't go out if it's not so nice out there. Hopefully I'll see you on Thursday on Create and Craft. Otherwise, I will be in the shack with Barb on Monday. Take care now. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.